So I'll bring the Finance Committee meeting to order. Thank you, everybody, for coming here tonight and for this discussion with us. And this is our second meeting. I also I had an email from the controller, who I believe is on Zoom with us. Yeah, there he is. So he's going to be Zooming in as well tonight. And we have Councilor Chevlot and Councilor Chavis on Zoom as well. And I forget you can see that behind me already. So we're going to talk through some of the items on the agenda tonight, some of the budget items, some of the overage and thoughts on the budget and how we can really bring this into balance. Part of where we're at, I think we've in some ways had a slower start getting to the council in mid-September, and for us to try to get this worked out in the last couple of weeks. So there were some things that the council wanted to see happen with the budget, and there was also some competing needs, it seems like, with the budget. And we'll ask some of those questions tonight. But for me, it trying to bring it to a true balanced budget of what we bring in is what we spend. But we also want to make sure that, you know, our city's not harmed, and then we also stay within what we discussed in 2020, creating the 2021 budget, which is making sure the salaries and the contracts were all fully funded with revenue, not having to go into our reserves in order to do that. So with that, I know, like I said, Tyler, our controller, is on Zoom with us tonight. But I wanted to lead off. Does Councilor Chavis or Councilor Chevlot, Councilor Giles, do any of you have any questions to begin with or comments?
Not to begin with. So.
Okay, please go ahead.
No, I don't have any to begin with.
Oh, not to begin with, okay. All right. So, Controller, are you able to answer any questions that we might have here today?
Somewhat. I think if you saw my email, I did. Yeah, it's hard to talk. I had a lot of dental work done, so my tongue is starting to lose some of the numbness, but my face is completely numb. So do my best to answer what questions you have.
So I'll refer to an email that we received, or some communication we received, that the majority of the $3.6 million is in capital improvement, specifically for parks, and for the $200,000 roughly of that is for the redevelopment of this building or rehab of this building. I didn't see that budget, that $3.4 million, in the Parks Department's budget. Where would I find that?
So I'm gonna pull up that email. I know what you're referencing here. Hold on here. So you're looking for trying to see here. You want you're totaling up the community parking lots, the pickleball. So, okay, I'll flip through this budget book too.
That's fine. Yeah, if you have an exact page or line item.
I don't. I mean, it's throughout. Hold on, call here.
So if you don't, then what are you indicating then, if all of those projects were taken out of the 2022 budget, then the cash reserve is not necessary to pull in? Oh, I think we lost him.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got another call that came in and it kicked me over.
I don't know if you heard my question. So if you don't know the exact page, so let me ask this then. If what you were indicating is that if those projects weren't funded in the 2022 book, the budget book, then we don't need to bring in $3.6 million from the cash reserve?
Right, so those are one-time expenditures. If the council decided they didn't want to do those projects, you could eliminate those projects and it would eliminate that funding.
Well, there's a difference in not wanting to do those projects and being able to fund them within a balanced budget. So that's really what we're getting at.
So the one-time expenditures are being funded with the unreserved. So the difference between the two is the reserved is the 20% mark that we set ourselves. Those one-time would be funded with the unreserved general fund, which would still make this a balanced budget in that sense. I will say, if I don't know what the rationale would be for keeping those funds above the 20% threshold. It doesn't make sense to me, or I don't think a taxpayer would understand why we would keep that above the 20% threshold either. But that's, the council's decision.
I got a couple questions now.
Please.
So I guess the
Oh, hold on, Councilor Chavis.
The answer, I'm sorry, Chair, can I ask a question, a follow-up question?
Yes, let her.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Councilor Giles had started to speak, but he said he'll defer.
So are you saying that none of those funds that you've earmarked for parks projects can be found in the parks budget, not any of it?
I didn't say that. I'm not sure where you came up with that.
Okay, so you didn't answer the question. So
Well, he jumped to a different question. He was asking if those were removed, something about removing those. He'd have to restate the question, I guess.
So
his first question was, is any part of those projects in the actual parks budget? That was his first question. And then when you couldn't answer that, then he asked it in a different way regarding the reserve fund. So I'm circling back to his original question, which is any part of those projects?
There's part in the parks budget.
So can you tell us
again?
where?
But we keep going to the term capital, and again, it's not going to be in the 4 4s. But what I'm getting at is, if you guys want to cut that out, this budget is balanced. It is our proposed budget. If you're looking for places to go and to cut, I'm not going to give you every piece. You guys get to do that. I did my part, which was propose the budget. If you want to find specific pieces to cut out,
Right.
that's your decision.
Right.
Okay.
So you
your
can't
comment-
answer the
I told
question
you
as to
this.
where any of these projects are funded in the parks budget.
That's not what I'm saying, but if that's what you want to take from it, then you can take
So
that.
answer the question. Can you tell us where it is? It's really a yes or no question. Either you can or you can't, or you just refuse to.
Refuses to.
We'll go with refuse then. I'm
Absolutely.
not
Alright.
going to, I've
So-
proposed a budget that
Told you
uses
guys
the
that.
unreserved funds for one-time expenditures. If you don't want to do that, that's your call.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Chair, I just call for adjournment then. I don't know
I do
what we're
too.
doing here.
I absolutely do too. And that's what I tried to say in the last financial meeting, that they were proposing this budget, not cooperating to work with us, not working. This is a proposed budget, not your final say, we thought. We have had these meetings to bring department heads and come to some sort of place for the people. But if this is a strong line, then, Mr. Chair, I would like to have a motion to adjourn.
At this time, we do have, since the administration doesn't have any other lines for us to review, we'll propose our own amendments to this budget. So at this time, we'll accept your motion. We'll adjourn.
Thank you.